Happy Friday, everyone. I wanted to talk a little bit about trauma. I don't specialize in trauma, and yet it's amazing to me the amount of people that I work with, clients, right? Whether they've come in for smoking or for QHHT, past life regression, or for coaching, whatever it is, right, that they come in with, weight loss, that trauma just creeps in. It's really incredible to me. I recently read a book by Oprah Winfrey and Dr. Bruce Perry, and it's called What Happened to You? And the premise of the book is, instead of asking what's wrong with you, start asking what happened to you and going back to, the beginning. And when was that event that happened, or events or series of events, right, that happened that then imprinted, right, got imprinted, in your unconscious and started then replaying itself moving forward. Because very often with trauma, right, then there's a trigger. So something happens and then there's an automatic response. I was recently, talking to someone, and they were sharing, right, again, how they had been diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder. They didn't even realize what had happened when they were young was abuse. They just thought that it was a way of life because it was the culture that this person was living in, at that time. And it was only when an event happened in current day life that, required him for his job to get hooked up with counseling, that it was identified that this abusive situation, had occurred for many, many years. It's so interesting, the way that trauma kind of creeps into our lives. And what might be trauma to me or traumatic to me might not be traumatic to you, or vice versa. I am appreciative that I have the tools to be able to help people release the emotions that are attached to what happened in the past. This is really powerful. It doesn't change what happened in the past. It doesn't make it right. It doesn't make it okay. It doesn't mean that you have to accept it in a way of saying that it's okay or it's right, or, it allows you to no longer be emotionally attached. So when you look at the event, you can recognize that it happened and not be going down that rabbit hole of experiencing it all over again and again and again. It's an honor, honestly, when people wind up in my office and start sharing their story. Always an honor to me when people are willing to share their story. They're willing to share about themselves, personal, intimate details about themselves, what they have been through. And always, I am holding that sacred space and recognize that I am honored to be able to receive this information from people. And if there's one little thing or two little things, that I know, tools that I have in my toolbox that I can walk them through to be able to help them release that so that they're not living with that heavy weight any longer, then I just feel privileged, honored to be able to do this work. As I'm talking about this, right, thinking what's really the purpose of the video, and I guess it's to be aware that we don't know what has happened in people's lives in their past, what may have triggered as traumatic to them. Whether you see it as traumatic or not, it may be triggered as traumatic to them. And if that's the case, let's just be let's just honor and respect and be kind, because we don't know what it is that's going on or has gone on or maybe all of a sudden surfacing. It's so easy to just be quick to judge and not recognize that maybe whatever that behavior or action was a trigger response because of something that happened to them. Start asking the question, instead of what's wrong with you, what happened to you? And take the time to just be present, be there, be open to hold a safe space, hold a sacred space, and allow that person to just step into one more little inch of their healing process, then get to that point of post-traumatic wisdom. This is Rebecca with Mind Over Matter Hypnosis. Till tomorrow.